Please subscribe.
Meet the substitution for the Ford Escape-based Lincoln MKC. The 2020 Lincoln Corsair takes off this fall with another look, heaps of new innovation and another mentality. Be that as it may, it's not only an update with an appealing new name. The Corsair, nearby the 3-push Aviator, is the harbinger of a kind of renaissance inside the Lincoln brand, appearing keen new innovations and execution plan for hoisting the automaker in the extravagance space. In the sheet metal, the Corsair is shockingly little, notwithstanding for this effectively minimized extravagance class. The Lincoln's 180.6-inch length is somewhat shorter than the Lexus NX, 182 inches, and Mercedes-Benz GLC-Class, 183.3 inches, opening somewhere close to the Audi Q3, 177 inches, and Q5, 184 inches. The Lincoln's little stature is misrepresented somewhat by sunken entryways that bend internal, making what might be compared to a thin abdomen. In advance, the Corsair includes a similar structure components as the new Aviator, including the scored chrome barbecue with hexagonal patterns reverberating the Lincoln star identification. Gem LED headlamps are coordinated with sharp daytime running lights. The whole front end is more upstanding than the active MKC, which makes the Corsair look somewhat like the cutest little Navigator you at any point saw. Out back, sharp taillights stretch over the SUV's Audi-esque backside, just underneath a coordinated spoiler that adds an energetic completion to the Corsair's outline. 2 turbocharged choices underneath the Corsair's hood is one of 2 turbocharged, 4-chamber motor choices. The base 2.0-liter makes 250 pull and 280 pound-feet of torque, which it sends to either the front wheels or through Lincoln's everything-wheel drive framework. My model, be that as it may, has the redesigned 2.3-liter turbo, which makes 295 drive and 310 pound-feet of torque with standard AWD. So prepared, the Corsair has a substantial, wide torque band that offers great increasing speed off the line and around town. It's not what I'd call a lively powertrain, yet Lincoln isn't timid about its solace and quietness objectives being the most significant focuses for the Corsair. Truth be told, Lincoln experienced extraordinary lengths to lessen the measure of motor clamor in the lodge. There's no phony electronic fume sound and no enlistment commotion channeled in, with dynamic electronic sound scratch-off and heaps of detached sound stifling. Pop the hood and look into the corner, for instance, and you may spot protecting texture stuffed into certain open spaces behind bodyboards to absorb street clamor and resounding sounds. Whichever powertrain you pick, the Corsair packs a smooth, 8-speed programmed transmission to supplement its supple suspension. The reduced SUV is accessible with a versatile suspension, which includes more taking care of edge in the foolishly named Energized Sport Drive mode. Like the Aviator, the Corsair highlights 5 drive modes with senseless names, for example, Conserve, Slippery and Deep conditions. Energizes the sportiest, with more keen throttle reaction and a progressively coordinated tune for the power directing and suspension. Be that as it may, and still, at the end of the day, the Corsair feels like it was made for cruising. Little-scale extravagance as they voyage, Corsair drivers will be blessed to receive a lodge that is enlivened by the bigger Aviator, however isn't actually a downsized duplicate. Look carefully and you may see a somewhat progressively plasticky look and feel to the materials, however they're still of a genuinely sumptuous quality with decent-feeling calfskin trim, chrome look subtleties and piano dark completions. Tastefully, it's not actually some tea, however I can value the fit, finish and amazing highlights, similar to Lincoln's 24-way control movable seats with separately enunciated thigh underpins, different back rub programs, warmed and ventilated surfaces. With so much customizability, it set aside me some effort to get the seat set simply straight. In any case, when I did it, the redid solace was certainly justified regardless of the exertion. The Corsair spares your seating position and different inclinations to a driver profile, which can be attached to a key dandy or a Bluetooth-matched telephone utilizing Lincoln's phone as key component. Like the bigger Aviator, this enables drivers to utilize their telephones to control, open and start the Corsair without opening the telephone or expelling it from its pocket or handbag. Look at my first drive of the Aviator for more subtleties on how it functions. My model likewise includes an all-encompassing moonroof that stretches right behind the second column, which, incidentally, is the main sliding second line in the smaller, extravagance portion. This component, which I've just at any point seen on 3-push SUVs, permits some adaptability between having heaps of legroom on the subsequent line and more freight limit with respect to the back, contingent upon the day's needs. The Corsair can gobble up to 27.6 cubic feet of load behind the back column or about 57.6 cubic feet with the seats collapsed level. Match up tech with Vision steering wheel in the dashboard, or rather, on the dashboard, the Corsair includes a littler, 8-inch rendition of the touchscreen show from the Aviator. Regardless, it stands out in contrast to everything else with its tablet-like structure, is as yet controlled by the most recent AgeSync 3 infotainment programming. The OEM route, applications and interface are very great and simple to utilize, and the Corsair comes standard with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto availability, should you choose to bring your very own maps and applications along. My one nitpick with the locally available programming is that when beginning turn-by-turn route, the voice direction guides me to make sure to comply with all transit regulations. I don't have to hear that toward the start of each and every excursion, particularly when I need to click concur on a sync disclaimer each time I start the vehicle. Allows simply accept that the proprietor has a driver's permit, okay? Another remainder from the Aviator's lodge is the smooth Vision steering wheel with its enlightened controls and weirdo arrangement of the voice catch at 10 o'clock on the wheel. Ergonomically, it falls normally to the thumb for 3 and 9 drivers, however the individuals who keep their hands at 10 and 2 may get some bogus triggers when directing. By and by, I utilized the predominant 3 and 9 hold, so it wasn't an issue for me. However, I like that this will just lights up the catches comparing to include as of now being utilized to diminish interruption. Along these lines, for instance, the journey control and path keeping fasten don't light until the Copilot 360 framework is outfitted. It's a little yet pleasant detail. Copilot 360 discussing Copilot 360, the Corsair highlights, you got it, comparable standard and discretionary Copilot 360 and Copilot 360 Plus driver help suites as the bigger Aviator. Out of the case, Copilot 360 carries standard pre-collision braking help with person-on-foot location, path continuing directing help and path takeoff cautioning, vulnerable side observing and a back camera. Venturing up to the discretionary Copilot 360 Plus suite includes versatile journey control that works in unpredictable car influxes, more grounded path focusing controlling help, turning around program crisis braking and a 360-degree camera framework. So prepared, the Corsair likewise increases Active Park Assist Plus, which can consequently control the SUV into a parallel or opposite parking spot. Evaluating and rivalry like the Aviator, the Corsair establishes a strong first connection and has me amped up for the remainder of this Lincoln Renaissance. The automaker is relied upon to make a big appearance a module half-breed Corsair not long from now, like the Escape, and, after the Aviator Grand Touring PHEV surpassed the majority of my desires, I'm significantly progressively eager to perceive what Lincoln does with the littler model. The 2020 Lincoln Corsair begins at $36,940, including $995 for gold charges. Almost completely stacked, my model takes off at $59,660 on account of redesigns like the 2.3-liter motor with AWD, versatile suspension, innovation bundle, Copilot 360 Plus, reserve accumulation, extravagance overhauls, styling improvements, and that's just the beginning. That value range is somewhat more extravagant than the Cadillac XT4 or Buick Envision, however the Corsair stands head and shoulders above them. Tastefully, I favor the Caddy all around, however with such huge numbers of savvy highlights and more power for both the 2.0T and 2.3T choices, I'd preferably live with the Lincoln. The Corsair likewise faces well-disposed challenge from Lexus NX, the new Acura Audi-esque and Mercedes GLC, exchanging execution and worth blows with the fragment's substantial hitters. That I'm even ready to consider a Lincoln a commendable contender to a Mercedes's verification the Corsair has something worth being thankful for going.